Nicki Minaj, y'all calling me like an ass kisser. Y'all saying I'm being paid and everything like that. So apparently somebody had some wine, some true wine on Nicki Minaj and her American Express card being misused, okay? Now, I'm just trying to figure out how did that person get that wine? Like, how would you know if somebody is using somebody's American Express and how much and when it happens? You know what I'm saying? Because obviously, you know, I don't know. I just couldn't be that type of person to know something like that and not tell them. Well, I guess not, because, you know, when they tried to sell me Natalie Nunn's purses, I ain't say shit. I almost bought them, I promise you. I don't know. But I guess if I'm rich, you know, like this person, like, what would I do with that information? Like, I'm just, you know, somebody's trying to scam her or somebody's scamming her, and, like, how do you know that information? And then there was some allegations of schizophrenia, you know what I'm saying? And some other allegations of bipolar and all of that. And I'm just like, how is this person getting this stuff? Like, where are you getting it from? And so I have, you know, not that I have an idea, I know, but we'll talk about that once our guest comes on. But there's just one particular issue I just want to address right now, which is who did it? Because it's not about whether or not you know if it's if it's happening. It's like, who's doing it? And why are they doing it, okay? And how do these people get around people like this? So you have to ask yourself that question too, you know? And so, you know, I woke up and, you know, Nicki was in my DM and she basically had, you know, let me know that she had filed a police report on some people. And there's some other names that's going to be dropping soon here. And so stay tuned for that. We'll probably have those names by Friday. But there's one in particular that you guys know. He's a stylist. His name is DeAndre Taylor, if I'm not mistaken, okay? And so he styled her for her Gag City world tour, okay? Y'all claim y'all didn't like the outfits. I don't know, she looked like Nicki to me. I mean, same shit she always wear. I didn't see anything like really special about the designs, but I mean, it was right on brand for her, okay? And so I know y'all are saying that now, but at the time, y'all probably praised him and loved him at the time. But here's the thing, when she decided, I guess, to file a police report, obviously she's known about this for weeks. And I'm gonna say this too, because she did tell me that she had known about this for weeks, and when the information came out, it was probably because, you know, when things are public, or when things are being said, you know, other teams talk to other team members, or, you know, the gay boys talk to the other gay boys. Let's just put it out there, okay? And so all the gay boys, they gossip. You know, they're one of the girls. They know all the business. This goes for all of the stylists, and all of them in some factor have been accused of stealing, okay? I can name people on Lil Wayne's team. I can name people on Drake's team. I can name people on Tiana Taylor's team. I can name people on Megan Thee Stallion's team and things like this. And so the fact that this information would be shared as a dig, I don't know, it just hit me some type of way, because I'm like, are you encouraging this? Do you want to see somebody fall? Do you want to see somebody do worse than you just so you can feel better and you could be number one? Because in reality, you're like number 10? I don't know. So let's get into the deets real quick. So DeAndre Taylor did send me a cease and desist. Y'all want me to read it before we get into his background? Okay, because this is who Nicki Minaj says she filed the police report on. Then there's a doctor and there's two other people. I know who the two other people are, but I don't know who the doctor is. And so I'm waiting on that. And I'm waiting on that before I go forward with it, because, you know, we just ain't got time to be playing with nobody in court. Like, you know. And so hold on. Let me actually get the cease and desist. This is his background report here. And it's public, by the way, okay? So he has aliases, and I can see why Nicki's team probably wasn't able to run a proper background search on him because of all of the aliases and names and stuff like that. So hold on. I know my guest is watching. Hold on real quick, girl. Just hold on. Let me get this cease and desist. I think he sent it to my public email. This is where I get all my tips and stuff. Unwind with Tasha K. d@gmail.com. So it's from David Hutcher and Citron, LLP in New York. Okay, and so they have sent a cease and desist personally to me. And so they said these are defamatory statements about DeAndre Tristan. They don't even have his real legal name. Okay, we represent DeAndre Tristan. We write with urgency to address your defamatory and unlawful conduct, to serve first and final warning to serve legal consequences that will follow unless you immediately retract your false statements and issue a public apology to Mr. Tristan. This is what his lawyers are saying. Okay, I want his lawyer. I know his lawyers are watching. I know Mr. Tristan is watching. Hello, how you doing? Welcome to the Wino Gang. Okay. Also, specifically on October 14, 2025, through your ex Twitter account, Unwind with Tasha K, you published multiple posts falsely accusing Mr. Tristan of criminal conduct. I wonder if Nicki got one. I wonder if Nicki got a season. Okay, it's all good. So here's the thing, including statements that Nicki Minaj filed a police report against DeAndre Tristan, the stylist, last week for stealing money. Actually, it was a couple weeks ago. So, and another ex-media post the same day that he was allegedly convicted of credit card fraud back in 2010. This is in the cease and desist. Hold that thought, lawyer. Hold that thought, okay? So, hold on for a second. He allegedly changed his name, apparently, okay? Nicki Minaj isn't the first or last victim. Calling all celebrities, hide your purses. You then amplified these falsehoods on the Instagram by reposting the defamatory statements to your Unwind with Tasha K account. Your statements concerning Mr. Tristan are inevitably false. I bet you they can't even really spell that right, because I can't say it, okay? And you either knew or should have known them to be false, they said about Mr. Tristan, has never been charged with any crime. They said that Mr. Tristan has never been charged with any crime. They must don't know who they talking to right now. Okay, all right, so hold on for a second. The subject of any criminal investigation or convicted of any crime of any kind, your posts are fabricated and malicious and appears calculated to harm Mr. Tristan's financially and reputationally, despite the absence of any truth or good faith to your false statements, okay? Given your large media following, your false statements have spread virally, been republished on other social media outlets, and have caused immediate and devastating harm to our client's reputation. I don't even want to read the rest of this shit because I don't think the lawyers know what we know, okay? And so here's the thing. I don't have any issue with him. I don't know this man. I just found out. I'm just following the paper trail. And so before I take her word, I'm going to go do my research myself. And so what we found was that he got a history dating back to 2006. But before we put up the police report, okay, and state all the charges, I want you to get to know somebody who put him on. And not only did he do this to her, he did it to another celebrity that we're going to name shortly, okay? And so here's the thing. Hold on for a second. Let me go ahead and get Miss Kim on the phone. Miss Kim, you ready, baby? I know she ready. Come on, Tristan, I know you watching the show. You ain't tell your lawyers this, did you? But hold on.
Hello?
Hey, Kim.
Hey, Tasha K.
How are you, Mama?
I'm hanging in there.
Okay. So we're live right now. I hope you know. So we are recording.
Okay.
All right. So here's the thing. So I gave a brief introduction into Nicki Minaj and this stylist that she kind of put me onto, that she filed a police report on because there were multiple charges on her credit card, her American Express, that was named publicly, that apparently she had given him, I guess because he buys clothes and pulls clothes for her and stuff like that. Jasmine, can you show some of those charges that Nicki Minaj had put up the other day regarding Mr. Tristan and some others? And so here's some of the statement charges and stuff like that. Jasmine's about $8,000. There's an $8,000 charge. There's a $7,000 charge. Hold on for a second. What is that, Jasmine? I can't see. I ain't got my glasses. 5,000. I mean, she just started screenshotting, and specifically and that's what makes me like really wonder, like, how would you know it's an American Express? So that means other people have access to her American Express. Isn't that called boosting? But here's the thing, Miss Kim, do you want people to know your first and last name and who you are and how you know DeAndre?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. So my name is Kim Brown. I owned a store called Fresh of Georgetown in Washington, D.C. for over a decade. And I was one of the leads in the area. I worked with BET. I did a lot of different things in the Georgetown community, and it was when it was popping. A part of the ecosystem that I was a part of was Georgetown Cupcakes and Sweet Green. So those were my peers. However, I didn't make the transition from, brick and mortar to e-commerce. So I decided to close my store.
Okay.
So that's my background. So how I know DeAndre, he first started as a customer, and then he was looking for employment. He did not have much retail experience, so I brought him on board, and then, very energetic, very likable, friendly. We also, meshed because we're Sagittarius, and so I'm sure he did that with Nicki. So just very, very friendly. Short of the long, two of the bullet points that I know that Nicki's not going crazy. That's my biggest thing. People are just, slandering her name. Bottom line is, back in the Obama era, this is when he was working for me. So about 2008, 2009, around that time period. This is before Square. So we had, you swipe the card with credit card machine. And then when you swipe it, all of your information comes up. So what I found was a lot of customers were calling me and saying, hey, you've double charged me, or I'm seeing charges that are not recognizable, and the last place that I used your card was at your store. And so at first I didn't kind of put it together. This was again around the Yelp era. So then I started getting like bad reviews. It was just a very stressful time. Then Zara, which was had a flagship in Georgetown, they called me and said, hey, Kim, we have one of your employees over here stealing using your sensor gun. And so I had, became friends with him, but I had to let him go because I was one of the few Black people in Georgetown that owned a business and owned the $1 million building in Georgetown. So I didn't just rent a building, I owned it, and I made way for Georgetown Cupcakes. So that's pretty much, the nutshell. I've kind of stayed low key over the years. The last time I've spoken with DeAndre was about October 2024. I have text messages of that. I'm not going to divulge the person's name yet. His name's Terry. I'm not going to divulge his last name. Him and I are extremely close. And basically, DeAndre did some things. I won't elaborate right now. He did some things and I kind of try to quarterback it. So I reached out to DeAndre and said, hey, that's not right what you did to Terry. And, you guys been, childhood friends. How can we mend this? So basically, in summary, I'm basically the blueprint or the pink print for all the millennial girls that are now Instagram girls that sell clothes that are from the DC metropolitan area.
Okay.
I was one of the first. Yep.
So how did you handle DeAndre? Hi, DeAndre. I know he's watching. How did you handle DeAndre when you found out that he was, he had your look? What do you call that gun where you take the,
The sensor gun.
Yeah. And the charges. How did you handle him? Did you fire him?
Yeah, so I terminated him. We did not talk for probably a couple months, but we were friends. So, we continued to engage, but slowly he was, trying to make a mark, right? And so he would ride the Amtrak train to New York to try and get, his footing. I can't speak on all the details of what he was doing in New York, right? But I know that he was definitely, I've witnessed him scamming and doing various things, in the DC area.
So when I named his name yesterday, because that's when you reached out, what did you think when I said something and, Nicki had divulged that information to me? What did you think?
Oh, wow. I mean, similar, people just think, I was just like, that is definitely him. It's unfortunate that Nicki is kind of doing riddle games. So it comes off as like, you don't know what you're talking about, or maybe your husband did it. But no, I know for a fact, I don't know for a fact because I wasn't physically there. So allegedly, this is his MO. How he got his start, he was somewhat like a groupie. He would ride the train from DC, hang out in front of ABC News. And then Robin Roberts, I believe is her name. When they used to have concerts and stuff, so he just like kind of wiggled his way in, and she gave him his landing, and so that's how he got his start. A lot of his credentials are false. I don't even know if he has Emmys, but he didn't finish school. I still have love for him. But, he, again, what he's done to my other friend, Terry, who was his friend, is just not cool. And that's a whole nother story.
Okay, we'll swing back for that story real quick. So hold on for a second. Let me pull up before we pull up his background report, because you're not crazy either. Okay, and so hold on, let me make sure I get this. So I'm not going to, tell the source or anything, but basically we got a tip yesterday saying that DeAndre Tristan, okay, he had already stole jewelry from Tamar Braxton when he was working for her, okay, and out of her house, and now Nicki Minaj. But there's another guy named Mark Williams, okay, whose name is Versatile101 on Instagram, who makes him steal these people's stuff. Now, that's all alleged. I know Mark is a stylist as well, but this tip came in from a very credible source yesterday. They all from DC, and they all do credit card stunts of all of this type. And so this is a different person from, like, somebody else is saying that he has a mark in DC.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you're familiar with DC was really popping. I mean, even, we had a lot of different clubs, lounges, and things. Just, DC was popping. And honestly, the chips on the cards, I promise you, the crew of DeAndre and all of them, they are part of the reason why the banks came up with a new system. They were running a gamut.
I needed to spin on that. Go ahead.
They all come from a ballroom environment, and a lot of the I call them girls, a lot of them gravitated towards me because I was one of the only Black people in the DC metropolitan area that owned a boutique, and I was running it efficiently. So a lot of them clung on to me because that gives them clout, that gives them status.
Okay. All right. So real quick, anything else you want to add before I, unveil his record?
No, I mean, again, like I said, it's not so much to kind of really throw him under the bus. It's more so, I'm not going to say I'm a barb, but, I love Nicki, and I just feel bad for all that she's going through. And unfortunately, she's not really communicating effectively on Twitter or X. So I just want to give validity that, this is real. And this is how he got his start. And, I'm sure, one last thing, one good thing about him, different than arrogant Tay, DeAndre loves engaging with women that are 10 years older, 10 plus years older than him, because a lot of the women, similar to me, they want a gay bestie, and it makes them feel young and youthful and vibrant in a sense. So, I know that he's worked with Mariah Carey. I know he's worked with Michelle from Destiny's Child. And so all of these different people, and he dressed to the nines, and he's curated his page. He's curated who he is to a T, because he's been able to scam for over 15 plus years.
That part. Well, thank you so much. Do you want people to find you, follow you, just in case they may? Let them know.
So my Instagram page is Kim Brown _2030. These days I just do consultant work, and I'm almost at my milestone of traveling 100 countries, and I just kind of stay low key.
Okay.
Yep. So that's where I'm at, and I appreciate you taking the time, Tasha, to talk to me.
Oh, anytime. I appreciate you taking the time to just, speak your truth, because a lot of people will say that she's crazy. And so I'm going to bring this home in just a second. Just give me a second, winos. I'm going to let Miss Kim go. Thank you so, so much, and we will definitely work together, okay?
Okay. Thanks,
okay.
Tasha.
All right, Mama. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. All right, so there's that. So, but here's the thing. So we had to go all the way back and things like that. I do want to say this before I unveil his arrest record, okay, and the aliases that he uses, and things like that. I do want to say this. Just like she said, all of them have gay besties, okay? And all of these artists, whether it's an EJ for Megan or, a Colin for, or a, you know what I'm saying, or a Tristan, DeAndre Tristan, right? They're all together. They all recommend people. They all talk. And so for this information to get back to this team, but you got to understand that the stylists, the gay stylists, the gay besties, they run together. It's like, if her business is being told, best believe that your business is being told as well. Now, without further ado, real quick, before we go over to TashaKLive.com, let me go ahead and pull up the background report. Shout out to Nyla Says, my PI. Shout out to Nyla Says, my PI. Anytime we want anything, even the information on Cat Williams' kids that we'll be unveiling here, Nyla puts, we get the receipts. And so just in case they want to play in court, we got our receipts to back it up. So I have his full, hold on for a second. Oh no, that's Cat Williams' adopted daughter, wrong person. Okay, so we got his full report. DeAndre Willis, okay, born 19, hold on for a second. Hold on. I ain't gonna put his credentials out there. I don't want the video to get struck. Okay, so here we go. So we have, hold on. Washington, D.C. addresses all down the pipeline. We also have, let me get to the arrest records. So we have 2008, 8/26/2008, okay? Credit card fraud, identity theft fraud to avoid arrest, okay? This was in Virginia. That's the DMV area, okay? We also have another charge on 8/26/2008, identity theft fraud to avoid arrest again in Virginia. We also have uttering, delivery, and forgery of a check. Okay, this was along 8/26/2008. Okay, we also got identity theft misdemeanor. Okay, this was a felony. Okay, this was in Arlington, Virginia, all around the DMV. Okay, we also have, hold on. We have another forgery. Okay, and uttering as well in Arlington. We also have, hold on. It's just so many. Petite larceny, okay? 6/21/2008. This was a felony as well, too. We got the case numbers as well, too. Hold on for a second. We also have some civil judgments. We also have, some civil judgments in Philadelphia County. We also have, let me see. Hold on. I got his addresses, his business name. We also have, I'm making sure I go through every single thing. Yep, we got the companies that he uses, the aliases, and so he goes by DeAndre Willis. See, we couldn't find anything under DeAndre Tristan or DeAndre Taylor, okay? We had to actually go to the government name, which is DeAndre Willis. And so when you give in another name to a celebrity, of course, they're not going to be able to find this because they're going to look at Tristan and say, oh, there's no identity there. And so there's also a Willis, a Wilkes, as well as Tristan as well, too. And so, listen, you can send your lawyers. You can do what you want. I don't give a damn at this point. And so I've reached out to Tamar. I'm waiting on her to confirm. You know, Tamar loves a gay bestie. I don't know why. My gay bestie's a girl. Right, Jazzy Faye? Right. But there's a little video. You got that little video of how they pull, because I want you to see, like, how does a stylist afford this? Remember, Shannon Sharp stylist, Hollywood, he had a lot of perks, right? Courtside seats beside his man, Van Cleef jewelry, you know what I'm saying? Cartier watches and stuff, and all they doing is pulling outfits. But, go Go ahead, Jasmine. Go ahead.
This is DeAndre Tristan, and he's Nicki Minaj's ex-stylist. He is the person who people are saying took her Amex and was like buying stuff with it. This is his Instagram, and at the time of this recording, he limited his comments. So don't come over here thinking you can ask questions. I already tried. You won't get through. But, you know, I did find some pictures of some past posts. So let's take a look. You know, over here, everything looks very expensive, mind you. Very, very expensive. We got some Hermes on the floor. What are these, like some Tom Brown sweatpants, a Bottega Veneta jacket. I see Van Cleef jewelry. I think this is an Amiri hat. I'm just saying, if I were under the impression that you stole my credit card and I go on your Instagram and I see pictures like this, I'd be pretty upset. Like, the fuck are you so happy about? What you smiling for? Whose card did you use to pay for this? This one would have really pissed me off. How does his outfit match the background? He's dressed like one of them condos he's standing in front of. I'm not mad at it, though. I like the pants. I would have still got you beat up, though. And I would have stole all the purses. I'm trying to figure out where all these charges came from on my credit card. And you out here just flowing in the wind. Absolutely not. Allegedly.
So you have the question, like, how did such person get the information? Who told you about the information? How were you able to tweet that information and name Amex cards and schizophrenia and bipolar? And all the artists are crazy. Michael Jackson, Prince, all of them. They all crazy. That's why they so damn entertaining. They crazy. We follow the crazy. But my thing is, like, I don't think it's funny to be laughing at somebody getting scammed at when we've all been scammed, even by our own baby daddies. But anyway, listen. We're going to head over to TashaKLive.com, okay? Oh my gosh, okay?